Okay, so let's get into it. Unfortunately, I did film all this footage on my iPhone, so it's gonna look a little bit weird in the frame. I'm gonna work around it, and I'm gonna try my best to be as informative as possible. Also, before we start, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell that random person you sit next to on the bus. Every little helps, and we are trying to get this channel monetized. I know we shouldn't talk about money, I'm still going to talk about money because this is something that we are progressing, but also we just want to share that life outside of the UK is different and can sometimes be better. Don't get me wrong, it is a lot of work, but maybe it might inspire. Who knows? But yes, please like, share, subscribe. We appreciate every single person who does. And of course, I am trying my very best
as community manager of this channel.
I hate when I do that. No, but seriously, I'm trying my best to keep on top of comments. So please, if you've got any questions, queries, or you want to know something about Bulgaria, or you want to know something about buying a house, I will try my absolute best to respond, reply, and help. I won't necessarily say I'm going to be giving legal advice. You don't want my legal advice. But I can certainly maybe enlighten you a little bit about the process that we have gone through. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's start from the beginning. This is Tio, I'm Clara, and this is Kiki, and our small family makes up Mission.Bulgaria. We got sick and tired of living in London, and we wanted to move away from the exhausting city life. So we packed up and bought a house in the mountains of Bulgaria, where we hope to live off the land, raise animals, and enjoy everything this beautiful country has to offer. Let's start off with how we found this house. So, unlike the other places that we were looking at, we actually came across this place through Facebook. My husband decided to post on a Facebook group for houses in Bulgaria, specifically Vela Novo, which, if you don't know and you haven't seen our previous videos, it's where my husband grew up and where we were looking to buy our home. And so he posted on this Facebook group chat or Facebook group and was basically asking for people's recommendations, a little bit of advice. You know, even though he grew up there for the first 12 years of his life, he hadn't been back apart from on holidays, and buying a property is a whole other kettle of fish because it's not like London where everything's surveyed left, right and centre. No. With that in mind, he posted on this group on Facebook and he got quite a few responses. One of which was something that he didn't have any pictures of, he had no reference of. He just got this lovely message from a woman, and it was basically just saying, we would love you to come look at the property. We don't like posting photos about it because we don't want to encourage the wrong people coming here. We're right outside or right on top of Elena, which is the area that we thought we could A, never afford to go into, and B, was, it was kind of like the dream location, but we were like, it's a bit difficult to get there, so, not as in literally difficult to get there, because I could see where we're going with that. I meant more in the sense that, it's a very popular place to buy and raise a family in and stuff, and neither one of us would be surprised if it were difficult for anyone to get a property there, let alone, a couple of foreigners, well, one foreigner, coming in and nabbing up a place. Anywho, we're gonna sidestep that. So with that in mind, I basically had no information on this house except for it's in Elena and we're gonna go see it the day before we fly back home. Bear in mind, in my last video, I said that the house that we had last seen, I'd already drawn up sketches for the layout of the house. I was already in love. Tio was on board. We were both sort of thinking, this is our place. This is our home. And then this guy pulls out of his hat a house unlike any other. But there's more than that. So when we went to go view this house, we thought it was at the bottom of the hill, just outside of Elena. We pulled in next to this chapel and we were thinking, oh, this is not great. We're not a big fan on this, but we'll see. And it turns out we were completely wrong. We had to go up this little slip road, so to speak. And we met the husband of the woman who messaged Tio. And initially we were like, okay, this is not conventional, but we're here to take a look at it. He was very friendly, he was very nice, and he was like, look, you guys have a rental car. It's probably not going to do well on the roads that we're about to take. So hop in our car and I'll drive you up to the house. At this point, I'm like, anxiety is a little high because, hopping into some person's car that I've never met before, not normal for me. But for Tio, he was like, oh yeah, fine, I'm just going to hop into someone's car. That's cool. Clearly was kidnapped many times as a child. This is a terrible statement to make. Anyway, so we hop into this gentleman's car and he introduces himself. His name is Stefan. And we are going to drive up to the house where we'll meet his wife, Krassi, and son, Pressian. So we drive up this off-road road, and I was sitting in the back of this Jeep as we were driving up. Tio was happily having a conversation with Stefan on the way up, like asking questions, introducing himself, like the full whack. And obviously this is all in Bulgarian, so I don't understand a lot, but I can get the gist of what the conversation was as we're driving up. I'm in the back of this Jeep while we're going at like 90-degree angles on some bits of the road, and it's raining as well, so my anxiety is just like slowly creeping up this magical hill as we are driving up this hill. And I'm holding on to dear life, and Tio can feel the anxiety radiating off me because he's sitting just in front of me and he reaches back and he's like, you okay? And I'm like, yep, fine. I'm trying to save face. I'm not trying to show that I have multiple panic attacks, but I was trying to keep cool, So we get to the top of the hill, we park up, and we're instantly greeted by two very lovely big dogs called Verona and Vulcan, who are big King Corsos and very cute. Naturally barking at us because we're intruders. Good guard dogs.
Security alert.
And then we're greeted by Krassi, and we are taken into their house that we parked up on. It's basically got this beautiful panoramic view of just the mountains because we're at the top of this mountain hill thing at this point. And we're invited in, and they're like, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna see this house, we're gonna view it, we're gonna make our points and stuff, and then we're gonna probably go back down the hill, whatever. No. This couple invites us into their home. They've just made a fresh bread. They have laid out a table of like afternoon lunch. It is a full-on sit-down, chat, feast, get to know you. It is intense. Krassi speaks a little bit of English, so that helps me, and her son Pressian speaks very good English, so he's basically stuck to me like glue. I can sort of grasp what is chatted about, but there are some bits where I just completely lose it, and I'm just kind of like looking at it like smiling like an idiot, just like I can go along with this, but I have no idea what we're saying. Anyway, so we're telling them a little bit about ourselves and why we're moving and what our intentions are for why we want to move, which is this whole idea about the fact that we want to have this more rural lifestyle. We want to be self-sufficient. We want to have something that we own and like we are proud of and we built ourselves. We don't want to be like just grinding and hustling for the rest of our days. It's not what we wanted in our lives. So with that in mind, we're telling this family about why we've come to Bulgaria and everything. And they, in turn, were telling us basically a little bit about the area, the heritage. It turned out Stefan had grown up there since he was a young boy, and it's where his grandfather lived, so he went to visit it quite a lot. And then as he's grown up and older and moved away, he was living in Vienna, which is where he met Krassi. It was a beautiful story about their entire lives and stuff. And essentially, they were saying that they had built this entire village back from ruin and, overgrown and basically just decay. They built it all back up to what is a functioning place again. And like if you saw the pictures of what it looked like while they were building it up, is just incredible, because it's like there were no roads, there was no water, there was no there was very little electricity and things like that. It was just, as you would expect, a very rural area. You were just basically essentially like camping. So they were telling us all this and how much work they've been putting into it, and it was 10 years of their lives that they've dedicated to the area and everything. And, you know, Tio's hearing this and going, wow, like this is basically what he wants to be. I'm hearing this and going, damn, that is dedication, like, wow. So after we've had some fantastic sourdough bread and some meats that they have cured themselves, and lutenetza as well, we take a little stroll. And we walk down to where their main house is, because they own 3 buildings in the area because they didn't want it to go to ruin. So they've bought these houses off other people who either never used them or they went into complete decay and they wanted to build it back up again or whatnot. So they showed us around their places. They had one house that they are now currently working on to live in for winter, which they're going to call their winter palace, which I think is fucking, it's fabulous. And then they take us down to the house that we are interested in. I had no expectations for any of this, bearing in mind. I just thought this was going to be some sort of small house on top of a mountain and it wouldn't work for us. Oh, how I was wrong! We walk in and it's this beautiful big garden. You've got a barn on the left, the big house in the front, and you're just surrounded by these beautiful, quiet mountain views. It is spectacular. So yeah, we basically walk up to this house thinking, geez, this is huge. We are then told it's about like 6 bedrooms. A lot of pressure to have the kids then. Kidding. No, we're told about like 4 or 5 bedrooms and there's a ton of space inside. Obviously it needs work, but it's been lived in sort of within the year, so it's actually not that bad. They have a well on the property, so it's got its own water supply. It's got electricity that's already there. Like most of it will probably need a bit of decor work and stuff, but the majority of the house is actually in very, very good shape. Considering other properties that we'd looked at didn't even have window panes in the windows, this one had everything, and it included everything as well. It included beds, ovens, fridges, crockery, everything, and even better, had multiple jamals, which are the radiator things, and a pechki stove in the kitchen, which was original, I think, and still worked and was perfect. The only things that we sort of found that we thought were something of a concern was the roof. It probably needed a little bit of maintenance and love. But as we were walking around this property, it was very clear that Tio was just falling more and more in love with it. But I think it wasn't just about the property for him. See, he was also wanting to have that sense of community, which is something that, even though we'd looked at about like 10 or 11 different properties up until then, we didn't feel any sense of community or just people looking out for each other. It was very much, this is your house and this is it. I'm sure it maybe would have grown eventually, but you know, it wasn't necessarily happening. So as we were walking around this house, seeing that there was, don't get me wrong, work to do, like, let's take off the wallpaper, people. It's not happening. And definitely getting rid of some of that poo. That's a lot of bat and rat poop. We realised that there was just so much that this property had to offer aside from the literal property itself. Okay, so the main questions I get is, how much was this house? What are the features of the house? Like, let's break it down for you. So the house itself, we managed to buy for just over £10,000. So that's £10,000 for, so that was the house, the barn, the garden. It was sitting on about an acre of land, if I remember that correctly. QTO jumping in at some point telling me I'm wrong. And everything within the property itself. Considering this also had working electrics and its own well, this was extremely, extremely fair. It was on top of a mountain which had a local spring that you could walk to within 5 minutes and had water supply from more than one place. It was about 10 minutes away from Elena by car, probably about 20 if you're walking. And it was in a completely accessible but also inaccessible place, because it's accessible if you've got the right car, it's inaccessible if you don't have the right car. But we were I'd say about 10 minutes away from Elena, the main town. We're about 45 minutes away from Velikotonovo by car. We had buses that we could take in Elena to Velikotonovo. We have access to shops, hospitals, doctors, any form of chemists, you know, even just getting your coffee or restaurants. It was all within reach. Not to say that that's something that we necessarily banked on, but it's always good to have. Not to mention, in Elena, they had plenty of warehouses where we could actually get most of our supplies from. And if not, the area sort of provided, because our house came with basically everything that we needed. Our barn had all the tiles that we could use, and our roof had, weirdly enough, lots of spare tiles left over. So we were thinking, solid. Now, buying the property was only the first step of making the home our own. Obviously, there was work that we needed to do, and I'll get to that later, because after all, this is a renovation series. I'm going to show you the ins and the outs and the worst and the best and everything in between. But for right now, this is the home that we've chosen, and this is our Mission.Bulgaria. So like, follow, subscribe, share it with everyone you know. Every little help, we really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. And I'll see you on the next video, where I talk about packing up our lives and shipping off to Bulgaria with a dog in a van over the course of like 4 days. Someone tell me how we did it. I don't know. Ciao, ciao.